Most people have no idea. They wake up every morning, go through the motions of life, and assume that everything is just as it always was. But you and I both know that's not true. You felt it, the subtle but undeniable shifts happening all around us. The air is heavier, time no longer flows the way it used to, and no matter how much you try to stay anchored in the old routines, something feels off. It's as if the reality you once knew is slipping away, and no one around you seems to notice. But this isn't your imagination. This is real. The world as you knew it is already gone, and what remains is something entirely different, something shifting beneath your feet in ways that can't be ignored. As we step deeper into 2025, the spiritual intensity is reaching levels humanity has never experienced before. Everything is accelerating. Strange phenomena are happening everywhere, yet most remain blind to the truth. Earth is not just changing, it is splitting. You've sensed this, haven't you? The way some people seem completely disconnected, almost robotic, while others feel more alive than ever. The way certain places radiate a sense of peace while others drain you the moment you step into them. The split is happening now, but it isn't physical, it's energetic. Two realities are forming, and whether people realize it or not, they are choosing which one they belong to. The spiritually awake have always known this time would come. It was foretold in ancient texts, whispered in prophecy, and felt deep in the souls of those who have always sensed they were meant for something greater. If you are watching this, you already know. You have felt the pull. The question is, will you embrace it or will you resist the inevitable transformation? The truth about the great split: two earths are forming. Imagine standing at a crossroads where two paths stretch before you. One leads toward something higher, something lighter, a world where healing, expansion, and peace are possible. The other drags downward, pulling everything into greater density, chaos, and stagnation. These are not just metaphors. These two realities are materializing right now. The higher frequency Earth is already forming, vibrating at a level that only those who have done the inner work can perceive. It's a place where synchronicities are constant, where intuition is heightened, where the old limitations of fear and scarcity no longer apply. It is a world of creation, where what you focus on manifests with incredible speed. If you have felt a sudden pull toward nature, an overwhelming desire to disconnect from toxic environments, or an unexplainable sense that you no longer belong in the structures of the old world, you are already aligning with it. But then there is the other Earth, the one sinking deeper into fear, confusion, and destruction. Look around. You see it in the division, in the constant stream of fear-based narratives, in the way people cling desperately to systems that are crumbling before their eyes. This lower Earth is not evil, nor is it a punishment. It is simply the space where those who are not ready to ascend will remain, continuing the cycles they are unwilling to break. And here's where it gets personal. This is not just happening on a global level, it's happening within you. Have you noticed how certain parts of your life seem to be moving forward at an incredible speed, while others feel like they are falling apart? That is not coincidence. You are being pulled between these two realities, and every single moment, with every choice you make, you are determining which path you align with. This is why relationships are breaking down, why careers are suddenly feeling empty, why the life you once built now feels like it belongs to someone else. It's because you are not the same, you are shifting. The entire planet is shifting. Gaia, the spirit of the earth, is making her choice, and she is moving toward ascension. That means everything that is not in resonance with her new frequency must fall away. This isn't an easy process. It's painful, it's disorienting, but it is necessary. Those who resist the shift will find themselves trapped in a cycle of frustration and confusion, while those who surrender to it will experience an expansion beyond anything they have ever known. So, I ask you, where do you stand? Have you noticed how certain people in your life seem completely unaffected by this shift, as if they are still plugged into the old reality while you are standing at the edge of something monumental? That's because not everyone is meant to ascend at the same time. Some will choose to remain in the familiar, clinging to comfort even as it crumbles around them. Others, perhaps you, are already walking through the doorway into something far greater. Gaia's great purge, the signs are everywhere. You don't need to be an expert to see that something is happening to the planet. The signs are everywhere. Whether patterns are becoming more extreme, nature is responding in ways we have never seen before, and people are acting out in ways that defy logic. But what if this isn't just random chaos? What if this is Gaia purging everything that no longer aligns with her higher frequency? For centuries, Earth has been absorbing the weight of humanity's lower vibrational energy: war, greed, manipulation, suffering. That weight has pressed down on her, slowing her natural evolution. But as she rises, as she shifts into a higher state of being, that dense energy can no longer remain. It has to be released. And that's exactly what is happening now. Have you noticed how unpredictable everything feels? How emotions seem heightened? How people around you are either awakening or spiraling into deeper states of fear? That's because the energetic purge isn't just affecting the planet, it's affecting us. Gaia's shift is creating a ripple effect in human consciousness, forcing all of us to confront the parts of ourselves that are still anchored in lower frequencies. This is why old wounds are resurfacing, why long-buried traumas are coming up, why the past feels like it's demanding to be acknowledged before it can be left behind. And this purge is far from over. The energy will intensify, the world will feel even more unstable. But this is not destruction, it is transformation. The structures that were built on deception, control, and illusion cannot survive in the higher frequency. They will collapse. And as painful as it may seem, this is a necessary step toward liberation. So, what can you do? How do you navigate this shift without being consumed by the chaos? The answer is simple, yet profound. You must release everything that is not in alignment with your highest self. That means letting go of toxic relationships, detaching from fear-based narratives, trusting your intuition even when it defies logic. It means embracing the unknown, because the unknown is where the new earth is being born. We are standing at the threshold of something extraordinary. The question is, will you step through the doorway or will you resist the pull of evolution? Because whether you are ready or not, Gaia is rising. The choice is yours. The February 28th cosmic event, a turning point in the shift. Something powerful is on the horizon, something cosmic that will ripple through the very fabric of our existence. On February 28th, the planets will align in a way that hasn't been seen in years. Saturn, Mercury, Neptune, Venus, Uranus, Jupiter, and Mars, each carrying its own vibrational signature, will form an energetic pathway, amplifying Earth's transformation. Planetary alignments have always influenced human consciousness. Ancient civilizations tracked the stars, understanding that celestial movements weren't just distant occurrences in the sky but cosmic forces that affected everything on Earth. Every major shift in human history has coincided with significant cosmic events, and this one is no different. The intensity of this alignment will act as a magnifier, accelerating the energetic divide that is already underway. For some, this shift will bring clarity, a sudden realization, a deep sense of purpose, an overwhelming knowing that they are exactly where they need to be. Synchronicities will increase, guiding them toward their highest path. For others, this energy may feel like a heavy storm, disrupting old beliefs, shaking loose attachments, exposing illusions. Many will struggle to hold onto the reality they once knew, only to find that it is slipping through their fingers. The effects of this cosmic wave will not be uniform. Those who have been actively raising their frequency will experience an expansion of thought, of perception, of spiritual awareness. They will begin to see through the veil, sensing realities that were once hidden. But for those resisting change, the pressure will be immense. The old paradigms they are clinging to will feel suffocating, yet they will struggle to break free. Some will lash out, blaming external forces for their discomfort. Others will feel completely lost, unsure of what is happening to them. This is not just an alignment in the sky. It is an alignment within. As above, so below. Those who are attuned to Gaia's rising frequency will feel an inner shift, a pull towards something greater, something lighter. But those still anchored in the lower vibrations may find themselves overwhelmed, as if the world around them is becoming increasingly unrecognizable. The question is not whether this event will change reality. The question is, how will you respond to it? The veil is thinning, spiritual and interdimensional crossings. As Gaia ascends, the veil between worlds is becoming thinner. Reality is no longer as solid as it once was. The boundaries between dimensions are dissolving, allowing energies to bleed through in ways they never have before. This is why so many people are experiencing strange dreams, inexplicable encounters, and moments where time itself seems to distort. The unseen is becoming visible, and those who are sensitive to energy can already feel it. Some beings are stepping forward to guide and assist in this transition. They come in many forms, some as intuitive downloads, some as flashes of insight, some as familiar yet unplaceable presences that seem to be watching over you. Many of you have already felt them, that sudden knowing, that whisper in your mind when you needed it most, that overwhelming sense of love washing over you in the quiet moments when you least expected it. These are the signs that higher dimensional beings are near, assisting in your evolution. But not everything that crosses through the thinning veil is benevolent. Lower vibrational entities, sensing the shift, are becoming more active, desperate to hold onto what is slipping away. These energies feed on fear, on chaos, on the uncertainty of those who are still trapped in the old paradigm. This is why the world feels more polarized than ever. You may have noticed people around you acting irrationally, becoming more aggressive, more anxious, more erratic. This is not simply human behavior, this is energetic warfare. The old energy is trying to pull people back into its grasp to keep them from ascending with Gaia. This is why you must stay vigilant. The more you raise your frequency, the less influence these energies will have over you. They cannot touch what they cannot reach. The more you align with love, with clarity, with peace, the more you become untouchable to the forces of fear. You must become unshakable in your knowing. The light is stronger than the darkness. The high vibrations will always override the low. The question is, which will you align with? The final leap, the moment of transformation. There comes a moment in every great transition when the point of no return is reached, when the momentum is too strong to be stopped, when the old world fades and the new reality takes hold. We are approaching that moment now. The shift is no longer coming, it is here. And every soul on this planet is feeling it in some way, whether they realize it or not. Many of you have already detached from the old world energetically. You no longer resonate with the things you once did. The conversations that once held your interest now feel empty. The goals you once strived for now seem meaningless. You find yourself craving solitude, seeking out nature, distancing yourself from anything that feels artificial, forced, or programmed. This is because you are already existing in a higher frequency. The old reality cannot sustain you anymore, and yet you are still here, still witnessing the chaos, still surrounded by people who do not see what you see, still feeling the weight of a world that is coming undone. This is the hardest part of the transition, the space in between, the moment when one world has not yet fully dissolved and the new one has not yet fully taken form. It is in this space that doubt creeps in. Am I imagining this? Am I truly shifting, or is it all in my mind? But you are not imagining it. You are not lost. You are in the corridor between worlds, and you are walking towards something greater. The fear, the uncertainty, the discomfort, it is all temporary. What is waiting on the other side is unlike anything you have ever known. Some souls will choose to ascend with Gaia, stepping fully into the new earth. Others will choose to stay behind, not because they have failed, but because their journey is different. Some have chosen to remain as guides, as stabilizers, as bridges between the worlds. They are the ones who will hold space for those still awakening, helping them find their way when the time comes. This is not a race. There is no judgment. Every soul is exactly where they need to be. But if you are here, if you are feeling this shift, if you are resonating with these words, then you already know where you are meant to go. The final leap is not an external event. It is an inner transformation. It is a surrender, a letting go of everything that no longer serves you. A deep trust that where you are headed is beyond anything the mind can comprehend. The ones who are ready will rise. Not because they fought for it, not because they forced it, but because they let go. The call to action, your role in this mission. Now is the time. You have heard the call. You have felt the pull. You know deep within your soul that something extraordinary is happening, and you are meant to be a part of it. You are not alone in this journey. There are many of us walking this path together, even if we are separated by space and time. If this message has resonated with you, if you feel the truth vibrating through your being, I invite you to support this mission. Click the Super Thanks button and help spread this message to those who need it. Share your experiences in the comments below. Your words may be exactly what someone else needs to hear. We are standing on the edge of something monumental. The old world is fading. The new world is emerging. And you, yes, you are here for a reason. The time is now. Trust the process. Trust yourself. The shift is happening and you are ready.